Okay, finally, we're live. Hello, everyone. It's good to have you all on board. It's another time with tutorial, the enthusiastic tutorial, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be another of our class for the Faculty and Department of Political Science precisely. I welcome you all on board today, and this happens to be one of our very first class on the course, POL311, and it promises to be interesting. All right. One thing I've gotten to understand about this department at this level, I believe you all can hear me, is that the course materials are quite voluminous. All right. I just had to confirm the audio very quickly. Okay. The course materials are very voluminous, and compared to what we usually have in the although in the 100 level and the 200 level, but like I usually say, we just have to make do of whatever situation we have. All right, so let's ensure to have our writing materials ready as we dig into this together. As we dig deep into this together. Now, like I usually say, basically this is YouTube, and what we do here is quite limited. All right, what we do here is just 30%, and the 70% remaining is restricted to students of the private class, where we walk them through all their classes with YouTube, Telegram, and other helpful resources. Okay, so for those of us who are new to the stream, let's ensure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as well as also let's ensure to join the private class today. And how do you join the private class? All you need to do is just reach out to us on our official website, which is www.tutorio.net. On the website, you find the WhatsApp button in the top right hand corner. You use it to send us a direct message, and from there we take it up. All right. So now let's go straight into today's course. Now, according to the thumbnail, it says, okay, analysis. Are we together? The analysis. All right. We use in politics. All right. Talks about political analysis. I think there was a course we took yesterday, all right, and in this course it was made clear. I think that's PCR 375, if I'm not mistaken. Now, in this course, it was made clear that when we talk about politics and governance or government are two different things. All right, we should not consider them as the same thing. Okay, politics, governance. And we were able to establish in that class that when we talk about politics, we are talking about the activities involved in governance. But we're not talking about governance itself. We're talking about a body constituted by elected member of a state. All right. Upon their shoulder is the responsibility of running effectively the state. Okay. So now we are now talking about that. We are looking at particularly what it means by political analysis. All right, so let's go straight into the course material and let's see what we have there. Now, what does political analysis entail? All right, what does it? Talking about the analysis of political activities, what does it entail? Now, political analysis, speaking of which, before we know what it entails, let's understand what it means by politics and analysis. All right. Now we know what politics is, all right, but it says political here. Those are the activities involved in governance. Analysis is when you break things down properly to get a better understanding and a clearer view, a clear picture of any, all right, concept you want to get a better picture of. Now let's match these two together and let's see what we have here. Okay. Now it says political analysis refer to the processes, the methods, the approaches in political science that seeks to explain why certain political events occur, how they occur, when they occur, and how such events can be controlled. So now these are the key points I want us to take note of. All right. So when we talk about political analysis, we are simply referring to the processes, the methods, and approaches. Okay, the processes, methods, and approaches. We're talking about the processes, we're talking about the methods, and we are talking about the approaches in political science that seek, all right, in political science that seeks to explain, okay, in political science that seeks to explain why certain political events occurs. Okay, these processes, methods, and approaches, they are there because they intend to explain, all right, why certain events, why certain political explain why certain political activities, okay, why certain political activities, all right, or political events occur. Let's use events instead. Why certain political events occur, okay, why do these certain political events, why do they occur, what leads to it, how they occur, when they occur, and how such, okay, events occurs, why. So let's put it this way: considering the, all right, why, comma, I think I need to adjust my camera a bit because it seems like it's not covering the whole, seems like it's not covering the whole board. Aha, I thought it was much. I think I need to shift this back a little. So you can cover, I think it's better that way. I think it's covering the whole thing now. Okay, are we on the same page? Okay, now, okay, considering the why, okay, also how, when, and how to control, all right, the why, how, and how to control, okay, such events. Okay, now as you can see, this is quite comprehensive. Okay, so it has bits for our own assimilation, for our seamless assimilation. All right, so it's a process. All right, it's an approach, it's a method. All right, either one, anyone that goes with you, fine. All right, anyone that method or processes, what you need to note is that it is all the political events occur, considering the reason behind the occurrence of this event, how this event occurred, all right, the occurrence of this, of such events. Okay, Now, contemporarily, all right, I know we talk about contemporary, we're talking about more recently. Contemporarily, political analysis is the work undertaken by political scientists. Definitely, that's what they are all for. That's what they are all about. That's why we have them. Political scientists does all this scrutiny. Okay, political scientists can tell you that this is why this political event happened. This is how it happened. This is how it can be controlled. No other person can tell us more about political events if not the political analyst or the political scientist, according to what we have here. Okay, some of them are referred to analysts, but I feel the scientists are all right discussion because anything that involves science, all right, anything that involves science involves what we refer to as precepts. All right, anything that involves science is systematically carried out, meaning that you don't just do them anyhow. It is precept upon precept, process upon process. All right, identification, gathering of data, identification of the problem, the gathering of intel, designing the problem. All right, what we have also hypothesis testing. So it involves a lot of processes, and this must be also the standard of a theory just to confirm that it is universally accepted, right? So this is the case of a scientist compared to an analyst. Are we together? Now let's hear what some scholars have to say about the argument. Okay. Now, according to Osage in 1988, Asage said, as far as I'm concerned, political analysis has three main goals. Okay, as far as Osage in 1988 is concerned, he said that political analysis has three main goals. Just a moment. Okay, now the very first goal, according to Osage, he said to know what is important in politics, to know what is valuable, to know what is real or true systematically. All right, let's just leave it there. To know what is real or true, to know what is valuable, and know what is important in politics. Okay, for the what is important, those things that influence or determine. I think we should take that down. That is according to Osag Osage. Okay, let me check. Okay, there's no A here. It says okay. That's I beg your pardon. That's 1988. Political analysis has three main goals. One, two, three. Okay. Okay. That was a thing from the network. I think we are live again. That was a thing from the network. All right. I think we are live again. So let's just continue. So we have the third point. So according to Osage, so the third important, all right, the third point in contribution to his view about political analysis, he said, to know what is real or true. Okay, to know what is real or true, and to know this, we have to all right, subject our impressions, rumors, beliefs for or to verification. Okay, so let's take that as knowing the true value by verification. So we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Okay. It says here that there are different types of political analysis. Now we understand what it means by political analysis, all right, and we'll also consider some certain points from different scholars, the likes of Sage, all right, from a scholar, the likes of Sage. Now talk about the different forms, okay, the different types of political analysis. So to start with, we have the normative analysis, empirical, semantic, normative, empirical, semantic, okay, and we also have policy analysis as well, about four of them. Let's just take one or two of them as we move to the next one. So the first one says the normative analysis, okay. When we say normative analysis, what are we talking about? All right, so we have types of POL analysis. So we are talking about normative as the first one. Now, when we consider normative analysis, what are we talking about? Now, talk of normative analysis in political science, our focus is on the type of political of value to I good and better to recommend what is ought to be more valuable. All right. So let's underline what it says here by normative analysis. All right. This is the kind of analysis in questions of value and society. The political, this is the analysis in political science that focuses on, all right, asking valuable questions. All right, asking valuable it is breaking. What about now? Is it better now, Mrs. Reggie? It's about to even rain here, but I think the audio is perfect. Can you hear me, ma? She said it's breaking. Okay. To identify what is good and give it back. No, let's put it. And recommend, okay, wonderful, wonderful. And recommend valuable, okay. So the next one, which is the second type, we have semantic analysis. Okay, now let's do the empirical. So the second type of analysis, all right, is common to political science is empirical. Empirical is basically more or proofs. The empirical analysis seeks to identify observable phenomena. All right, empirical, something you can subject to certain, all right, and the likes. So it has to do with observable phenomena in real world to to establish what is rather than what ought to be. All right. So we have observable phenomenon. Observable, okay, in order to establish what is, all right, what is real or what is obtainable, okay, to establish what is obtainable. So we have that as that. So now let's take a step further. The public political analysis. The political analysis. Let's talk about that. Mrs. Regina, if you're on the stream, okay, let's proceed. Case, according to Blondel in 1996, Blondel identifies the development of contemporary political analysis as a history of three main battlefields, each dominating political analysis in different times. Okay, now one battlefield has been represented by the distinction between normative and distinctive political analysis. Okay, that is the study of what ought to be versus the study of what occurs. Now, the second, according to him, identifies the battlefield between law and reality. All right, the problem of structure in which legal approach is taken so, towards the study of political analysis. Okay, just a moment. Okay, now let's take note of this, please. Okay, so now the third point, which Blunt said, he said the belief, he said, between the unique and general, there have been a witness of move towards qualification of political analysis. Okay, there have been a move towards the qualification of political analysis. Now, I'm going to explain that in a jiffy. Okay, so now let's go back to the first one, contemporary political analysis. Okay, now we are considering Blondel's contribution. All right, contemporary political analysis. Okay. Now, Blonder said that the development of contemporary political analysis, all right, as a history of the three main battlefields. Each of these battlefields, back to what Blunt says that when you talk about Blunt says that when you talk about contemporary political analysis, then you also have to consider the history of the three main battlefields when we have each dominating political analysis in different times. All right. So Blondel is saying that there are three battlefields that determine three. The first one talks about the distinction between normative and distinctive political science. Okay, that's where the first battlefield occurred. The distinction, talking about the distinction between the normative and distinctive political science. That is the study of what ought to be versus what occurs. Okay, so we have the second point. Second point states that the between law and reality, second point, battlefield is between law and reality. Now, the problem of structure in which a legal approach is taken towards study of politics. So we have legal, law, and reality. The second battlefield is between law and reality. Then we have the third one. The third one, which is the battlefield, is that we have witnessed, and education of politics talks about the talks about the so let's stop here for today. In our next class, we'll talk about theoretical approaches in political analysis. So thank you very much, everyone. I believe you have been able to gain something in today's class. Please let's ensure to submit our notes to the appropriate quarters. All right. I look forward to seeing you all in subsequent tutorials and do have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.